Let's rumble.
Okay, and we're back. So, by the time you have tracked down all this information, I'm gonna say it's around lunchtime on Friday. What are you doing?
We have a 2 o'clock appointment with the lady scholar.
Yes, you do.
So we're going to slowly head over there. If we have time to have lunch before going over there, we will.
Okay. Yep.
Whereabouts is she on the map?
I was just looking that up for my own benefit. Let's see. She is. Let's see if she is on your map. She's not on your map. Okay, so her house is in the old city, and it's deep into the old city. It is about here.
All right. Well, we've already been in the old city once. Might as well have fun.
Okay. So you get a bite to eat, and then you head on down there. Um, so Lin Yenyu's Shanghai home, the House of Quiet Repose, is located in the old city on Yu Yuan Road. It is well defended. Uh, you see that there are, in addition to gates out front, there are visible guards watching you as you come up to the gate. And they say, may we help you?
Yes, we have a 2 o'clock appointment with the scholar.
Very well. And
And I,
they
I
ask your
mentioned
names and
yes, that's what I do.
okay. And they say very well, and they open the gate and say just walk up to the main house, and the servants will take care of you from there.
All right. We head up there.
Okay. Um, let me grab a mini for Lin Yenyu. So, Madame Lin is in her mid 60s, slightly taller than the average Chinese woman, with a good figure for a lady of her age. Her dark hair is elaborately styled, and she dresses in traditional clothing. And she's wearing a jade brooch of a swallow. Martin, you know that this is a play on the literal translation of her name, which means swallow jade. Uh, Madame Lin takes up her favorite position on a well padded chaise lounge, which sits in front of a large curtain room divider, which is uh, on which is embroidered a number of lotus flowers and buzzing insects. She invites all of you to sit as she places a cigarette in a long, stylish silver holder, lights it, then rings a small bronze bell. Two immaculately attired and very attractive young men bring tea into the room and begin to uh, serve all of you while she blows smoke rings. Uh, a third servant, an equally attractive and identically dressed young woman, brings a separate tray for Madame Lin. A second young woman settles on the floor at her mistress's feet and begins to play a Chinese lute. Uh, as you are looking around the room, you notice that on various shelves and bookcases throughout the room, there are several occult and mythos related items on display. Um, I will accept either occult or Cthulhu Mythos rolls from any of you if you would like to look at what's around.
Someone had an extreme.
Alistair, extreme occult roll. So as this is happening, you very quickly notice that Madam Lin is watching you to see if you notice the significance of the items. You're very clearly being sized up. No psychology roll needed. Um, so uh, this is what Alistair sees. With an extreme, I'm going to say that you see all of these things.
I think she's a dragon. Are you a dragon, man?
You see a well worn copy of the I Ching, along with a set of yarrow stalks for divination, a strange copper statue of a bizarre snake tortoise hybrid, tarnished with age to a dull black. With your successful occult roll, you all see the statue, but only Alistair knows that this is identified as the Dark Warrior, a creature of Chinese mythology associated with winter, water, and the north. A thangka, a Tibetan religious painting on fabric scroll, backed with blood red silk brocade. Its tassels and cords appear to be made from red leather. Um, the image does not depict the usual Buddhist scenes, but instead a ghastly rendering um, of a strange figure in the center. It's a seething, amorphous blob surrounded by um, piping servitors and some creatures that you recognize from England. You also find a Chinese translation of The Secret Mysteries of Asia with commentary on the Goral Nigral. Um, a set of 9 bronze bells, heavily decorated with what at first appear to be dragons. Um, and a golden ankh, and a well thumbed copy of Sir Wade Germain's book Observations on the Several Parts of Africa, with a number of bookmarks in it. So, uh, she addresses you directly, Lewis. She doesn't seem to be giving much mind to anyone else, and says in perfect English, says to you, "Yes. So, what is it that you wanted help with?"
Yes, we were doing research on the Sun Dynasty and um, obscure religious um, icons of that time period. Um,
Interesting. And what brought you to that information?
well, we've been
It's
traveling.
not a usual thing for foreigners to take an interest in.
Well, usually not, but we like to delve into some of the stuff that our other scholars are not always interested in, at least in on the Western world, and we feel it has not been given its due weight um, where we're from, and we feel that it should be, if that makes
And
sense.
and what in particular do you feel hasn't been given its due weight in your country?
Well, various um, we have run into various different religious groupings and icons around the globe. And one of the ones that we have run across to a hearing about is we've heard bits and pieces about a religious icon known as the bloated woman.
That has nothing to do with the Sung dynasty.
No, but it seems to have some touchstone with it. And we're trying to figure out, at least that's the rumor. And we're trying to figure out if it does or not. Well, and that's where we're coming to you. We hear things, and as a good scholar, one must prove or disprove, you know, various things. So that's why if we have come, obviously, to Shanghai and China to gather the facts and either prove or disprove.
This is unrelated to the Sung dynasty. The bloated woman predates the Song dynasty and postdates it.
So did it have influence during the Sun Dynasty?
I believe that the Order of the Bloated Woman has always existed.
Ah, well, that would at least indicate that it was around at that time point.
It was around at that time point, although I know personally of no major events that happened during that time frame.
I look over to Martin. Or not Martin, I mean our scholar in the occult,
Alistair?
Alistair.
It looks like you have interests that fall much into the similar vein as mine. You have a lovely collection here. I'm jealous of some of this materials that you've collected here.
Oh, and what in particular is catching your eye?
Oh, some of these books. I'm very interested in some of these books that many men would think of as evil or at least not to the normal.
So she looks at you, and it's like she's seeing you for the first time. So, and I don't know that this has come up at any point like since Lewis came into the party, but Lewis is incredibly good looking. He's got an appearance score of what 85, 80, 85, something like that. Um, so she you would guess that she was you know talking to Lewis because he's the pretty one, and given how attractive all of her servants are and how all of you took appearance as your dump stat, um like she obviously she was not looking at you at all, but as soon as you start like actually having historic discourse with her, Alistair, like she becomes very engaged and wants to keep talking with you about this. So which do you have a particular favorite book, either of my collection or perhaps a book of your own that you found extremely meaningful?
Just
Alice?
realized I was muted.
I'll mute myself.
My recent attentions have been turned towards Africa, and I was very engrossed in Africa's dark sects, as well as amongst the stones that seem to have drawn me in.
That's very interesting. Did you, by chance, have you traveled to Africa?
I have been to Africa. We've spent some time in Egypt just recently, as a matter of fact.
Have you been perhaps further inland to maybe Kenya or uh, any place like that?
No, we actually we did make a stop.
You all make a smile at that one.
Yeah,
So she gets up and picks up that last book, Observations on the Several Parts of Africa, and begins thumbing it open to uh, well bookmarked pages with silk bookmarks, and says, "Have you ever heard of the lost city of the White Gorilla?"
No, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say.
yeah, that would have been cool to check out when we were there.
I will let you. I will let any of you make either a history or occult roll to see if you know anything about this. Hard history roll. Okay, so didn't expect this to come
Wow.
up.
You
Give
could have
me
almost made that.
give me a second. Um,
That was weird. Waste of an 8.
so what you know is that there is a rumor. It's a It is a story that goes back to one of these pages has it. Hold on one second, guys. You know what? I'll be able to find it in the PDF way faster. I didn't expect you guys to get this after you bypassed Kenya, so I got dropped the page that. All right.
What was it like? City of White
The
Gorilla?
city of the White Gorilla, and
Rod comes from.
why- really? Oh my God! All right. So there's a story that somewhere in Africa, some of the rumors say Kenya, some of them say that it's another part of uh, Dutch East Africa. Some even say that it's off the island of Madagascar. The rumors are all over the map. That there is a city that was completely built by albino gorillas. Rumors further are that there is an entire religion based around the cult of the white gorilla.
Is that a place where somebody would have died if we went to Kenya?
Possibly. There were a lot of places that you probably would have died if you'd gone to Kenya.
Wait, how is this related?
So she just seems very interested in it, and she has this book that talks about it a lot and is asking you
Just like
if you
seems
know any.
completely random.
It
Okay.
seems completely random.
I'm not the smartest person in the world, but last I checked, gorillas didn't have a civilization, so to speak. Tell me more about this.
Well, that's the strange part, and that's where the rumor comes from. Is that there is this city somewhere that is just run by majestic white gorillas.
I totally screwed that up. I had the hard history roll, I guess.
You
So
did, yes.
how did
You
so
found
I know that there's
you've heard
gorillas.
this somewhat from some drunken archaeology professor, you know, way back. You always thought it was that it was just like crazy rumor, but
or something, going off of Darwin's theory.
Or a Flash comic.
My God, man, it's awesome. Okay.
I'd be furious, George.
Okay, so basically all we know is
you've
she's also
you know
interested.
you've heard legends about this, but you that's all you really know is that there are stories about this, going back centuries. Um, uh, Supposedly the ruined city is in the Congo Basin, and that it was found in the 18th century. Um, and one crazy theory proposes that this is the foundation from which sprang all human civilization. That's all.
That is interesting.
That's what you know.
I'm filled with crackpot ideas.
So all of a sudden, again, like she basically wasn't ever even looking at you, and then you start talking about the gorillas, and her eyes light up, and she says, "Oh wow, I haven't found anyone else who's heard about the city in almost a decade. How did you even hear these stories?"
Well, I was a former Pulp Fiction writer, and as such, happen to know all kinds of wacky facts. As they say, what is it?
Truth
So
is
it's
stranger
than
than
fiction.
fiction.
so as soon as you say Pulp Fiction writer, like dead eyes again. You've fallen out of her, like for a brief second you were firmly in her orbit, and then just okay, never mind.
That's okay. You don't need positive affirmation from her. Whatever.
I'm also probably got the lowest appearance score, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, we've been drawing connections of various religious icons. One being the bloated woman, seems to be somewhat connected to some other cults that we have um, come across in our researches or icons, such as the I don't know if you've heard of this, but the Dark Pharaoh.
Yeah, you've got this lovely Ankh over here that
Mm-hmm.
is very similar to the stuff we've seen from Queen Nitocris. Sorry, Nitocris.
Or and tip also in the Kenya area. I do believe there is a religious group that worships something called the Bloody Tongue.
So she kind of looks at you and says, I don't know of these other strange religions. I will admit that my fortes into African culture are mostly just about the white gorilla city.
That's understandable.
I have not spent a lot of time learning about these other strange religions.
Well, there's so much out there that one cannot know everything. one can only hope to, and always be open to learning new. And which is why we have come up here, because we definitely want to know more about this, what you might know about this um, religion of the bloated woman, and maybe the influences in Chinese history and various areas of the Asian continent. Better to um, to fill in the facts and dismiss, you know, fiction.
So she pauses for a moment and then kind of says, "Well, what little I can tell you, uh, as I said, the bloated woman is ancient. I couldn't tell you where it where or when it began in China. Um, as I'm sure you know, uh, the practitioners revere a 600-pound uh, female human that whose visage seems to be adorned with tentacles.
Hmm.
The the religion has gone on for a very long time. It has spread through pretty much all of China. It is not limited to just Shanghai. And it is very ancient.
Hmm. Is it even? Um, Now you mentioned that it had been active in the early days, during the Sun, and after. Is it currently in practice?
I'm not aware of any such modern practices.
I was curious. I mean, occasionally you run into old, still, groups that will follow various ways. Occasionally, not always, but it is always interesting to see if something continues through the ages.
I am not aware of any modern day practice of that religion.
Now, hmm, now, out of curiosity here, with the Sung Dynasty, not particularly related to the obviously the religion of the bloated woman, but were there any specific um, things they had dealt with when it came to um, religions or cults that they had to deal with during that time point, or
The
because it seems to
dynasty lasted for 300 years.
yeah,
You'll have to
300
be more
years.
specific.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm not as knowledgeable of the song, but we have heard that there might be writings or materials that deal with thing with um, maybe getting rid of or keeping things at bay from the outer areas. Or I'm making a guess of what this, um, to be honest. Um, but if they did any work on keeping things
Hey,
at bay.
hey guys, I just got a massive thunder and lightning clap here, so
Yeah,
if I
I saw that.
if I go
Mm.
offline, well, that's why.
Yeah, we had some about 4 hours ago. So
Yeah, there's a thunderstorm warning for Worcester and Middlesex counties.
Okay.
Let's just hope we can finish this up then. You're
Well,
safe.
we'll see what happens. But if I suddenly drop, that's why. Sorry. What was the question you were asking before I heard the big boom and got distracted?
We're also interested in we know that an American is trying to find some specialists on the Sun Dynasty, particularly for translation work. And we figured that if this person was looking for specialists, that one of the people he might come to is you as well. We have some materials to share with him, and I do believe he has some stuff to share with us.
So yeah, she's kind of, once you say that you have some things to share with him and you think he has things to share with you, all of a sudden her demeanor, which had been pretty friendly to this point, turns very cold, and she says, "Oh, I see. Very well. This interview is over then."
Okay.
Maybe she's a cultist.
I appreciate you giving us the time that you did, and I bow politely. I do believe that
at this point, the guards come in and escort you off the property very quickly.
All right. And we don't fuss, we politely go. I go, well, I think that kind of gave us an answer, didn't it, gentlemen? I think our friend Brady has been here.
Either that or she knows something about what's going on.
I mentioned enough things that if she had wanted to interact or react, I think it would have already been done, but was definitely the mention of the American. And
oh yeah, the second you said you were working with Brady, that was it. She was about to do some really nice things for you. Then you told her about that you were working with Brady, and that was it. Yeah. You were out of there. Your feet didn't even touch the ground.
Okay, wait. So you actually suggested we were working with Brady?
No, I said looking for an American.
You said you felt that Brady had things to share with you,
I didn't say Brady. Yes. I said an American.
Well,
yeah, it's close enough.
As you asked a whole bunch of questions about the Sung Dynasty, then you said that you were working with an American who.
I didn't say working.
You didn't say working with, but you said I have an American. We're looking for an American, and that we have things to share with him, and he has things to share with us.
Yeah, I did say
that
share.
was wrong.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Probably not many other Americans poking around.
Yeah, sorry, gentlemen. I blew that one. I'll take responsibility.
I just want to know more about the gorillas.
Yeah. Well, sorry, gentlemen. My fault.
All right.
I was trying to figure out what to say, and we need to find out certain things.
Well, here's the thing: is that we got to be really careful because, as I said, Brady, even his friends, I think he just has the ability to rub everybody the wrong way.
Yeah, I know. Oh well.
Okay. So
when I get back to the probably about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yep.
I will at least I'm going to at least make sure to make a transfer of payment to this person so that they at least know that, all right, we did wait, would not waste your time, but you spent time with us and we still owe you money. And, uh, and I do send a appropriate thank you note. I don't expect her to talk to us again, but at least I'm going to, make sure I've done things right. Um, she may be pissed off at us, but at least she can't say we're Welchers. Um, and I'll at least do that. And
So I think that leaves us as we chase down these avenues with how do you pronounce it again? The import export
Hofang.
Ho Fang.
mm-hmm.
I keep thinking Ho Lang for some reason.
Ho Fang.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get into. Okay, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that this warehouse, there's only maybe a 25% chance we can find anything there, but we got to investigate this guy because I'm willing to bet one of the things we're going to have to end up doing is checking out his properties. What?
There was
as
one
well.
one other thing we needed to find out is, remember we had that picture of the boat. We had gotten the name of it.
What's
We
the name?
could see if we could see and find out if it's actually somewhere in the ports of Shanghai.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
Some of those the weapons parts were bound for Hofang, so there's probably other parts that are going to be around there. So he's up to something.
So which one do you want to check out for tomorrow? The Hofang, or check the ports for that one boat that we have a picture of, the European boat? Because I do believe didn't you give us the name of it? So we had talked to someone here and they knew what it was.
Yes, McChum told you. You showed the picture to McChum, and he told you that it was a boat called the Dark Mistress.
So we could check the dock areas and see if anyone has spotted, show the picture and say the name. We could even go to the, because there's usually a dock master or a port master.
Right.
Usually,
Well,
that would be a
if
quick
we go to why don't we head to the warehouse? Because that's near the dock anyway, right?
Right.
So 2 birds, 1 stone.
Right. We can do that the next day. So it's a little late now, or do you want to go during the evening?
Well, are we going to? We're going to break in to the warehouse. I mean, I would like to not necessarily do that.
Well, that's what I mean. Do you want to hit the next day, take a look at from the outside, and then, get a feel for it, and then hit the dock master?
Yeah, I think hitting it during the day is a better plan than the break and enter, which we're probably going to end up having to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we always end up doing.
Did we ever find out who Pale Viper was?
Nope.
Because
yeah, I'm betting we're going to figure that one out here.
yeah, England 12. The handout says on the first invoice, 2 Pale Viper, care of Hofang Import Export Shanghai, and he's also mentioned in England 13.
Okay. So I guess we're going to do that. We're going to head back. Well, I guess we'll hit the bar as our usual stop before the evening and before getting dinner.
Mhm.
We're just going to say hi to our friend and just have a drink.
Okay. You pop in. McChum says, "You're becoming repeat offenders, gentlemen."
I'll get a drink before the end of the night.
Repeat customers
Or
are good
just
for
the end.
business.
You see, Captain Izoj is there acting drunk.
Mhm.
He doesn't acknowledge you when you come in.
And we don't acknowledge him. 'Cause I don't think we have anything to really give him. That is nothing new to update him. Do you guys think so?
No.
No. So, well, actually, we do have one thing we could give him. Did we talk to him about Ho Fang and how the stuff was going through his warehouses?
No, that was one of the I was thinking we might, but
Yeah.
I thought better of it.
Yeah. This might be the time to do it.
And feed him the name of the Dark Mistress and see if his people can.
Or give us anything on him.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice not to stumble in blind, but
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fact is that I think we're going to have to track it through that whole
Yeah.
Fang, right? I think that's a key
So
point here that we've really been putting off too long, unfortunately.
yeah, I'm gonna go over to where the Japanese guy goes. Starting early again, aren't you? How's the weather?
Well, I was just thinking of taking a step outside myself to see about that and have a smoke. Care to join me?
Yes, of course.
So you, the two of you go outside, and Captain Azoj says, what have you found?"
Well, one of the things we had forgotten about when we were going through our notes is all those special supplies for things that you're concerned about have been going through Ho Fang shipping and warehouses.
He says, "I've heard that name. He seems to be a big mover and shaker here in Shanghai."
Also, there is a yacht or European ship called the Dark Mistress that seems to have some connection to these nefarious plans, and that um, your colleagues may wish to keep an eye on its comings and goings. We know it's connected to Ho Fang and a few other things. So, from what we've gathered,
Interesting.
but we know the part, and we know that um, it is part of it. And like I said, definitely the parts and stuff have been shipped to and through with Ho Fang, because we have seen the invoices from England.
Interesting. I'll have to start investigating him deeper. I thank you for the tip, my friend.
We're going to be checking out the warehouse during the daylight, probably acting as interested Europeans shipping stuff in or out.
If we happen to know of any other properties you might own or control around these parts.
I haven't investigated him deeply. Yeah. I just heard that he's influential businessman in the city.
Yeah. I say the more ears and eyes out, the better.
Very well.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to update you, and it's not exactly new, but we were going through our notes after our conversation and realized that you needed a few more details. And I say, good evening. And I go back in and go back to my scotch, listen to the standard, stuff at the bar.
Okay. You doing anything else tonight, or are we skipping to tomorrow morning?
We're probably skipping to tomorrow morning to go to the warehouse.
Very good. It is Saturday, December 5th, 1925. Okay, so you get up and you head down to the docks on the Huangpu River. So on Keong Street, you find a large brick building on the north bank of the Huangpu River. I will take a spot hidden roll if you like as you're looking around. It is a stout peaked tile roof to fend off rain. There are 5 sets of large doors along the side of the building, giving access to a high ceiling storage area, while 2 stories of low ceiling, you would guess, offices face the street. And being that it is Saturday, most of this is closed up. Okay, so Alistair, with your extreme success, you notice that at least a portion of the warehouse is built on either a wooden pier or wooden pilings. And I'm sorry, today is Saturday, so I'm sorry, all of the doors are open, and there are 30, you would guess 20 to 30 men along the dock and in the warehouse, moving shipping crates around. There's a boat up the way that looks like it's being unloaded. You also notice a number of folks in security uniforms that are also patrolling around.
As I look at the rest of you, I say, how do we want to approach this?
Is that an unusual amount of security for a warehouse?
You would say it's not excess. I mean, it's not excessive. You would guess that one of 2 things is happening. Either, he has a really successful, legitimate business that he wants to make sure that no one boosts, or he's got a really successful, shady business that he wants to make sure no one sticks their nose into. Either one of which is perfectly reasonable, and you're not sure whether it's column A, column B, or a little bit of both.
You said the warehouse is partly built on a pier or wooden pilings.
Yes.
Is there any way to get in from underneath?
You're not sure right off, but after Alistair tells you this, you think that you might be able to. You'd have to You'd have to go for a swim. And you would guess with all these people around, they would see you.
But at night, if a boat, or if we know of one possible comrade that has some naval experience.
But it could be fish people that come in and out of there regularly at night.
Damn, why'd you have to say that?
That's what I was. These frogmen get in, they've got their own entrance into the warehouse.
I'm just throwing that out because that seems to me the best bet if we want to get in this place is at night, and either we get a boat or we take advantage of our Japanese captain.
Can he requisition a Japanese midget sub?
I doubt that quick notice, but he might be able to get us a boat. Remember, he has some connections here already where we don't. And more than likely, the first connections he made is at the docks, being a naval captain. He might be able to get us a couple people he trusts to row us over there.
Is there if we were gonna try to come back at night, is there like a logical place where we would kind of try to approach the warehouse?
There's not a really good approach. You know, there are, you know, a number of other warehouses around on the docks, so
Can we get in through the top? Is this warehouse near another one?
it has a peaked roof, and there don't appear to be windows cut in the roof. So let me. Nope, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Let me drag you onto a map here. So
Oh,
you'll be able to see the outside of the building here, and there's you've got, you know, double doors here, and here, and this here is the area that, you know, is built up on the pier. So you think that you know, your supposition is that you might be able to access it from underneath. You don't know that for sure, but you know, looking at this pier here, it looks like this extends, you know, all the way over. And so either with a small watercraft or swimming, you could swim underneath it. So that's what it looks like from the outside. And then this section that's on the pier is a 2-story section. And you can tell that from windows, and it looks like the dock area just has high ceiling that you know, goes the whole way, probably for cargo. And looking in some of the, you know, you can kind of see a little bit inside that, you know, it, as people are moving cargo in and out, that, you know, it looks like a standard warehouse with, you know, tall ceilings and a lot of big boxes inside and people shuttling them back and forth with hand trucks.
Sounds like our best bet, I would think. What do you think?
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Apparently. How did I do that?
That was cool.
I must have had.
And we, you know, if we check with the dock master later on, we got enough time to buy some of the equipment we need because we're obviously going to have to put certain things in waterproofing, like flashlights and other things. Get oil skins or something to wrap certain items in. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, we definitely need to see inside this place.
All right.
Go
So
and
now
get
that we
it.
saw that, I don't know if we need to actually go in during the daylight, just kind of observe the place. I'd rather not let them know we're interested by going in and having them be aware of us. Considering that various groups have been watching us, I'm a little bit concerned that if he's connected, they might recognize who we are.
Speaking of which, I'm going to try a spot hidden to see if there is anybody that we can see telling us.
Foster is doing fairly well.
Okay. You are not being followed right at the moment.
All right. Shall we head to where the dock master is? Or the port master?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah. So
We're
head
some
to the-
tourists, and we have some interest in shipping and receiving in foreign cities. What can you show us about it?
As tourists are likely to do.
just looking for one specific ship, the Dark Mistress.
Okay.
Very interested in shipping and receiving. Not so much the receiving, more so in the shipping.
So we're going to head to the dock master and.
Okay, you head over to the harbor master's office.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to try to see. We're trying to find out if a French. Where I kind of show the guy the picture and say that we're looking. A friend of ours from Europe might have been coming in. This is a picture of the ship. And it's known as the Dark Mistress.
He says, and you, of course, have the compensatory record lookup fee, yes?
Oh, of course.
How much are you giving him?
Well, since I know a fifth is $10, I'm at least giving him 10.
Okay. So he tells you that that ship does come into Shanghai Harbor often, but never stays for more than a few hours. If it does come in, it's always after dusk and is out of the slip by midnight.
And what slips does it use?
He kind of looks at you expectantly again.
Yes, and I say, yes, you definitely look like you could use a good night, and I hand him another 10.
He tells you that the ship ties up at the wharf side, a little ways away from, and he kind of points over towards Ho Fang's warehouse. He says, "There's some open slip to the side of that. See that big building over there, the really big one?
Yes, I do.
There's some open slips to the side of that where where he ties up.
Does it seem to come in on a regular pattern?
Only thing regular about it is that it's always at night, never during the day.
Ah, okay. And I assume has it been in recently, or has it been a while?
It's been a few days. I'd expect to see him sometime soon.
All right. I say it's always excellent to do business with professionals such as yourself.
You have a good day now.
Yes, you too. And I walk out, and well, we got as we're walking away, and I'm going, well, seems that likes to hit one of the slips near the Ho Fang, but only at night. And he suspects it may be in the next couple days.
Wonder if it has a connection to Hofang.
Oh, I think that you. I'm pretty sure if it was that question is a definite yes.
And the Gray Dragon Island.
Oh, I would suspect that as well. Now the big question is do we want to swim there, or do we want to try to get a boat there during the evening?
Without.
And the other question is do we want to use our connection of the Japanese captain if he is even at a certain bar tonight?
I think we need some more information. I think before we try to tap that resource.
Yeah.
I really think at some point we need to probably get into the warehouse, snoop around at some point, and take a look that way.
Do we want to do that tonight? We got some time. We can get stuff we need.
What time is it currently?
It's around noon by this point.
We have enough time to get at least materials for at least, maybe try to get some stuff to protect some things with waterproofing in case we have to go in the drink. I figure we're going to need flashlights. We're going to need stuff to protect the flashlights and certain necessary items that we may need. Probably some rope, maybe some. We got to get up to the thing. We don't even know if there's a ladder or anything else down there, so we may need to be prepared with a rope and grappling hook or something. And we can come out here before it gets too dark and hire a boat for the evening. But the big issue is hiring someone that we can trust.
Agreed.
Which is why I was suggesting the captain, because at least he would know someone we could hire a boat from. It's the only reason why I was thinking that, because otherwise, if we do it on our own.
Again, like I said, let's go through the warehouse first, or I'll do it. I mean, seriously, that really, I think we need to take a look at the warehouse. Once we see or gather any information from there, that will give us our steps on what we can do next.
But that to go through it, we're going to have to go in at night.
Yeah, that goes through. That's definite.
So we still need to get a boat. Who are we going to hire that we can trust?
To go to the warehouse, we need a boat?
Underneath.
We're going to sneak in underneath, right?
We're going to sneak underneath. Because it's built over the wooden pier.
I was thinking more we go through the back door.
That's not what we were thinking.
Yeah, what's
We're-
the advantage of doing the underwater thing?
Well, it wouldn't be underwater. It would be a boat to underneath. There's probably a secret hatch or something, or a ladder from the basement, from the docks.
But if there isn't, then we got a boat and everything for no good reason.
He's dead.
If this most warehouses have some type of clandestine things, there's usually something's going on.
Oh yeah, if there's any smuggling going on, that's probably
There
where
would
it's
be
going.
a trapdoor in a warehouse that has this type of access, and usually one of those piers may have some form of ladder or handhold type things, or there's a rope ladder.
Well, I tell you what, guys. Why don't you figure out your plan for how you want to get into the warehouse, and we'll do that next time, because we're just about at stopping time, and definitely don't have enough time to play through that whole thing. So I think this is probably
true.
where we should part ways for the night.
Yeah, it makes
Sounds like a
sense.
plan.
But we at least have we have an idea of what we need to do next.
Yep. Is the 19th, 2 weeks from today at our normal time, work for everybody?
Works for me.
Yep, I think that's
Great.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well then, thank you all for playing tonight. Those of you watching live, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. And we will all go insane together more next time. And I definitely have to stop, it looks like, because there's even more lightning coming, so... Take it easy, everybody.